Leon Olguin here. Welcome to At Home with Music. In all my years of teaching piano, I remember watching young students trying to play, and if they were using the music, they ended up looking back and forth from the sheet music to the keyboard. They'd be playing along and they'd look down, look up, look down, look up, trying to play a piece like that. And maybe that's something that you struggle with, playing the piano without looking at the keys. And maybe you've asked yourself, what if I could master this skill? What if I could learn to play without constantly looking at the keys? And that is a valuable skill that I would like to have you develop because there are many benefits. It can enhance your playing. Playing the piano without constantly looking down at the keys, that's an essential skill that can elevate your performance, elevate your musicality. This approach is often referred to as playing by feel. And it involves becoming very familiar with the keyboard, and it allows you as a piano player to rely on muscle memory and spatial awareness rather than constantly looking down at your hands for the visual cues. Now, do I mean that you should learn to play without ever looking at the keys? No, of course not. You can watch professional pianists play, and occasionally they're looking down at their hands. But other times, they seem to be staring off into space. And of course, there are some famous piano players who couldn't look at the keys, even if they wanted to. You should check out the playing of the famous jazz pianist George Shearing, or somebody like Stevie Wonder, who wrote many great songs and played keyboard and obviously couldn't see what he was doing. But there are benefits to learning how to play without constantly looking at your hands. It enables you to focus on the sheet music. For example, if you're playing in an ensemble and you're not continually glancing down at the keys, you can keep your eyes on the sheet music. You can keep your eyes on the conductor. You can keep your eyes on other musicians. And that fosters better coordination in a group setting. It enhances your muscle memory. Over time, if you continue to practice without looking, that will reinforce your brain's connection with your hands. And it will make the movements that you have to make in order to play more intuitive and precise. And so you'll develop a stronger spatial awareness. You'll develop a mental map of the keyboard. And that will help you accurately locate the keys. You'll be able to navigate complex passages. Even fast-paced, challenging songs you'll be able to play more easily. It will give you increased confidence and stage presence. Maybe you're not looking to be a performer necessarily, but if you do want to perform and you can play without constantly looking at the keys, this allows you to engage more with your audience rather than being anchored to the piano. And learning to play without looking, it makes it easier to handle jumps and chords and arpeggios across the keyboard. You can begin to play these things without hesitation. And this skill of playing without looking will enhance your expressive freedom. Without needing to look down constantly, you can focus on dynamics and phrasing, emotional expression. This will make your performance more compelling. And it will improve fluency and accuracy when you're doing difficult runs, leaps, hand crossings. Also, it will increase your versatility across different styles of music, from classical music to jazz improvisation. Playing by feel, playing without constantly looking at the keys, allows you to concentrate on creativity and interpretation rather than physical navigation. Now, developing this skill will take time. And it takes deliberate practice, but I believe that the payoff is significant. What I want to do in this video is look at some exercises you can use to build confidence in navigating the keyboard without constant visual assistance. This will transform your playing. It'll make it more fluid, more expressive, and more enjoyable for you and for your audience. So we're going to start with some simple exercises that require minimal hand movement. And that will allow you to build muscle memory without feeling overwhelmed. Just like we would do with any other concept in music. We want to start simple. So for example, we'll start by doing 5-finger patterns in different positions. In fact, we're just going to start with one hand. So here's the first example. But you're going to start here on middle C, and you're just going to play a simple 5-note pattern up and down without looking. So I'm looking away from the keyboard, and I'm playing that. And you learn to feel the notes, feel the keys under your finger. And then we're going to switch without looking. See if you can make your way over to F. Now, what's going to help you is, remember, you've got 2 black keys and then 3 black keys. And your fingers can kind of feel when you're playing the C major 5 notes up and down, and you slide your hand forward, you can feel that your middle finger, or not your middle finger, but your pointer finger is right there between C sharp and D sharp, or D flat and E flat if you like. And so you can kind of feel where you are. Now you move your hand up, you can kind of feel where your thumb is. It goes up 1, up 2, up 3. And now you're on F. You slide your hand forward, and now your middle finger is in between the A flat and the B flat. And now you can play. And then you notice here, when you're starting on F and you're in the key of F, you've got to put your 4th finger on that B flat. And so you practice these little 5-note exercises. 5 notes up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, without looking. Now you're doing it in C. Then you slide your hand up. Play. Make sure you're playing an F chord. You might have to glance down just to make sure that you're playing the right chord. And then you're playing the F. You're playing in the F major scale, if you like. 5 notes up and down. And your 4th finger is going to be on that B flat. And then you can move up one more. And you find that you're playing that 5-note figure in G. This one is also on all white keys. Incidentally, I'm doing this with the right hand now. You can switch, do this with the left hand, and you'll notice if you slide your hand forward when you start on C, it's okay to look down to find your starting point, by the way. But eventually you want to just be able to come to the keyboard, and there you go, because you'll feel your 3rd finger rubbing up against the E flat. This is with your left hand. And if you slide your hand forward, your 4th finger, your ring finger, is now in between C sharp and E flat. So you found C major, and you do the same thing here. And then you slide your hand up. You find that you are on F. I kind of peeked, so let me do it again. If I move my hand up, not looking. Okay, now I'm playing an F major chord. You slide your hand forward, you find that your middle finger is in between A flat and B flat. You can feel it there. Your little pinky is rubbing up against the F sharp. And now you can play the 5-note figure, and you'll notice that your 2nd finger ends up on B flat. You can move up one more. And now you're in G. But remember, we're doing all of this as I am staring right into the camera. We're not looking at our hands. You're not looking at your hands. Now, you've done it one hand at a time. Now, both hands together. Now, this may seem incredibly simple, but remember, you're not looking. And now we're going to move both hands up. And we find F major. And then G. Now, here's where the real challenge comes in. See if you're ready to do this. Now, don't do this until you have mastered just playing maybe these 3 simple keys. Now we're going to do some of the other keys. Now, you can do this one of 2 ways. You can either go through the circle of fifths, which is another good exercise. So, for example, we could go from C to G. And then what would the next note in the circle of fifths be? Not B, it would be D. So, without looking, I have to keep myself from peeking. So we're playing in C, we're playing in G, and then we need to find D without looking. So we bring our hands down. It's okay if you hit the wrong notes at first, but you'll get there. Now, you'll notice that when we play the D major chord, you can feel that your third finger in both hands is on the F sharp. And now we play the little 5-note figure. And then where do we go next on the circle of fifths? We go to A. And what you can do to help you find it, notice here, your pinky in the right hand, your thumb in the left hand is on A. Now you can kind of switch over. And without looking, you're able to find A major. And you'll notice once again, your middle finger is on the C sharp. And then if we're doing the circle of fifths, this is the next starting note. So you can kind of slide over and you find the E major chord. And then you realize, boy, if I keep this up, I'm going to end up playing way too high on the keyboard. So we're going to come back down here and kind of find our way. Okay, I found it. Middle finger's on the G sharp. And you also notice that your fourth finger has to go to F sharp. And so you're feeling your hands playing both black keys and white keys. And you're playing this 5-finger exercise up and down. You keep going. Now you're on almost all black keys. Okay, I think you can see where we're going with this. The other way to do this is to simply go chromatically. Now you raise everything up half a step without looking. Now you're playing D flat. You get used to feeling where your fingers are, whether they're playing on black keys or white keys. Figure out where they are, get used to that feel, and then keep moving up. Listen very carefully to what you're playing. Don't become discouraged if you accidentally go, or something like that. It's going to happen. I had to learn to do this. Of course, that was many decades ago. But believe me, the more you practice this, as silly as it may seem at first, it will have an effect on your playing. And so if you sit down with a lead sheet and you're learning to play the chords, you can keep your eye on the lead sheet. And that's another thing we're going to be doing in future videos, because this is just the introduction to playing without looking. Because you want to learn to be able to play chord progressions without looking. We want to be able to play scales without looking. We want to be able to play arpeggios without looking and hitting wrong notes like that. We want to be able to jump from one place to another without looking. There's a lot to this, but it really will transform your playing, make it more smooth, more fluid. You'll be able to play with more confidence. You'll be able to read music more easily. You'll be able to play as part of an ensemble more easily. This is something that I want to help you master. If you have any questions, any comments, then please be sure to leave those in the comment section. We'll be coming back to this in future videos, and I look forward to helping you develop the ability to play the piano without constantly looking down at your hands. If you'd like to support my work, you can visit my Patreon page. The link will be in the description. I thank you for those of you who have recently subscribed to the channel. That helps the channel a lot. And those of you who have chosen to support At Home with Music through the Patreon, I really appreciate that as well. Anyway, that's all for now. We'll come back to this in a future video. Thanks once again for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one.